August 26, 2017, East Rutherford, NJ, USA. New York Jets acting CEO Christopher Wold Johnson left talks to general manager Mike Maccagnan before a preseason game against the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit. Brad Penner. USA Today Sports. Brad Penner, Ralph Bacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive. The Jets are sitting in a sweet spot in the upcoming NFL Draft. They hold a high pick, no. 3, in a draft that isn't thought of as quarterback-rich. That means any team that wants a quarterback should want to move up to get their first choice, rather than wait and settle for seconds. And the Jets are just the type of team that should be very interested in trading down. For one thing, they already have their franchise quarterback. For another, a pass rusher is one of their greatest needs, and there are plenty of quality pass rushers at the top of this draft. And maybe most importantly, the Jets are a rebuilding team with a ton of holes, yet they only have 6 picks in this draft and no second-rounder, which they sent to the Colts in the Sam Darnold deal last year. They should explore trading down in the draft to recoup their second-rounder and add additional picks, as long as they don't drop down too far. So which quarterback-needy teams are most likely to be interested in moving up? There are several in the top 10 and a few just outside it. It's impossible to even guess at what a trade package would look like without knowing how much competition there is. But the lower the Jets go, obviously, the more extensive the package could be. Who knows? They could even recoup their second-rounder and add a future first-rounder, too. Here's a look at the teams that might want to strike a deal. The Oakland Raiders, at no. 4. Jon Gruden seems like exactly the kind of executive to take an early leap of faith on a guy like Kyler Murray. It's all speculation on Murray right now, but if he gets to 3, Gruden could be tempted to prevent someone else from dealing up to get him. For the Jets, they could recoup their second-round pick and still get the player they would have taken at 3. The Raiders, by the way, have 3 first-round picks, though it's hard to see them giving one up to move up one spot. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, at no. 5. The Bucs have committed to Jameis Winston for 2019, but his contract runs out after the season and they've said nothing about 2020. Drafting a first-round quarterback would be a terrible way to show their faith in him, but he's been a lot of trouble in his short career with inconsistent results. It's doubtful they'd do it, but if they were willing a trade, a deal would be similar to any deal the Jets could strike with the Raiders. They could get their second-rounder back and still get a top pass rusher since they wouldn't move far at all. The Giants, at no. 6. A deal between these two intra-stadium rivals makes so much sense, yet because of their internal rivalry and proximity it's almost certainly not going to happen. But playing the hypothetical, it could be a win-win. If the Giants decide to take a quarterback, and it's still only and if this might be the only way to guarantee they get their man. And the Giants could give up their high second-round pick, plus a bunch of others. They have 7 picks between rounds 4 and 7 and maybe more on the way in terms of compensatory picks. Plus, to get a franchise quarterback, they can give up something from next year's draft too. The Jets get their picks. The Giants get their quarterback. I mean, why not? The Jacksonville Jaguars, at no. 7. There is no doubt they are eyeing the quarterbacks in this draft, and there is no doubt they are looking at opportunities to leapfrog over the Giants if they decide to take one. Imagine the Jets holding an auction for their pick with Tom Coughlin and the Giants as the 2 fiercest bidders. It would be fascinating. The Giants have more picks to offer. Both have extra third-round picks. All their picks are in the same range. Would one of them dangle a 2020 first-rounder to seal the deal? The Detroit Lions, at no. 8. But don't they have Matthew Stafford under contract through 2022 on a deal that makes him uncuttable, tradable for the next 2 seasons? Okay, sure, but on Tuesday, GM Bob Quinn refused to rule out drafting a quarterback at no. 8. They're probably not in an urgent position where they need to trade up, but if they fall in love with someone who can be Stafford's successor. The Denver Broncos, at no. 10. Now we're in the area where the Jets would definitely get a future first-rounder back in a deal. Broncos GM John Elway is, quite frankly, first-round quarterback crazy. It's like he's a collector. Of course, he's yet to find a franchise one, and this time around word is he's thought to be, locked in on Missouri's Drew Lock. If he's absolutely certain that this time he's found his guy, that's got to be worth next year's first-rounder, this year's second-rounder, and maybe one of the 4 extra picks they currently have in rounds 4 through 7. The Jets still would be in range for a pass rusher, probably. The Miami Dolphins, at no. 13. This gets into an area the Jets might not want to be in, beyond the first tier of prospects in this draft and maybe even deep into the second tier. They could get a pass rusher, but it might be someone too far down their board to justify with such a high pick. They might have to switch to another position, which won't be a problem if they fix their pass rush issue in free agency. To drop this far, though, the package would have to look a little like what the LA Rams gave up to move up from 15 to 1 for Jared Goff in 2016. They gave up the entire top of their draft, a first-rounder, 2 seconds and a third, plus their first and third-round pick in 2017, though they did get back a 4th and 6th-rounder in 2016. Sure, the Jets aren't dealing the first overall pick here, but the framework of a deal would be similar. The Washington Redskins, at no. 15. The Redskins aren't sure Alex Smith will be back for the start of next season, or if he'll resume his career at all. Even if he does, he'll be 34 in May and coming back from a terrible leg injury. What's it worth to them to jump up and secure their quarterback of the future? They only have 5 picks in this draft. Would they be willing to part with most of them, plus a future first-rounder? How about 2 future first-rounders? Owner Dan Snyder once gave up a second-rounder and 2 future firsts to move up from 6 to 2 to draft Robert Griffin III in 2012, so yes, he is indeed just crazy enough. December 2, 2018, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown, 84, gestures at the line of scrimmage against the Los Angeles Chargers during the 4th quarter at Heinz Field. The Chargers won 33-30. Mandatory credit. Charles Leclerc, USA Today Sports. Charles Leclerc, Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown has made it pretty clear he wants out of Pittsburgh. The disgruntled Pro Bowl receiver, who was found guilty for reckless driving Tuesday morning after failing to show up to court, tweeted that he is moving on. "Thank you Steeler Nation for a big 9 years. Time to move on and forward." Mandatory credit. Joe Nicholson, USA Today Sports. Joe Nicholson, as the Jets consider how to improve their deficient pass rush, one of the biggest names set to become available might not make it to free agency. Former NFL agent Joel Corey, who works for CBS Sports, told the Seattle Times he believes the Seahawks will use the franchise tag on Frank Clark. The 25-year-old edge rusher recorded a career-high 13 sacks for Seattle in 2018, and according to Pro Football Focus, Clark had 69 quarterback pressures. November 11, 2018, Kansas City, Missouri, USA. Kansas City Chiefs running back Kareem Hunt, 27, runs the ball during the second half against the Arizona Cardinals at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs won 26-14. Mandatory credit. Denny Medley, USA Today Sports. Denny Medley, the Jets stuck to their word when it came to Kareem Hunt. The troubled 23-year-old running back signed with the Cleveland Browns on Monday, the team announced. He will join the Browns on a 1-year deal and become a restricted free agent when the contract expires, per ESPN's Adam Schefter. Hunt was placed on the commissioner's exempt list after the Chiefs released him midway through last season. After a video surfaced of the running back assaulting a woman in a Cleveland area hotel last February, New York Jets quarterback Sam Darnold drops back to pass during the first quarter against the Green Bay Packers at MetLife Stadium. Vincent Carchietta, USA Today Sports. The high praise continues to come in for Sam Darnold. Despite a rocky rookie season for the Jets quarterback, the expectations for Darnold's future are still sky high, with the latest bit of optimism coming from former Jets cornerback Darrelle Revis. The former shutdown corner told TMZ last week that Darnold has what it takes to lead the franchise to its first Super Bowl since 1969. Miami Dolphins head coach Adam Gase talks with the media during the 2018 NFL Combine at the Indianapolis Convention Center. Trevor Rishkovsky, USA Today Sports. The JetsBlog.com follow on Twitter. The Jets finally announced their coaching staff for 2019 on Friday and, although many of the hires had already been rumored, there were still a few surprises. Let's weigh up some of the more interesting aspects of this new staff. A mixture of connections. Although this has been introduced as Adam Gase's staff, a few coaches that have no direct connection to Gase were hired. However, in these instances there are connections that lie elsewhere. Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter against the Arizona Cardinals at State Farm Stadium. Mark J. Rebeles, USA Today Sports. Jim Bob Cooter was among 11 assistants new Jets head coach Adam Gase hired as part of his staff on Friday. Cooter, who previously spent time as Detroit Lions offensive coordinator, will be New York's running backs coach. Sean Jefferson will be an assistant head coach and wide receivers coach, as he previously coached players like Calvin Johnson and Jarvis Landry. Ralph Bacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, archive. The Giants and Jets organizations don't like each other very much, which happens when teams share a stadium and a city. Jets have long had an inferiority complex from feeling like New York's little brother. The Giants have never hid their feelings of superiority when it comes to the Jets. So neither franchise has ever been inclined to do anything that might even appear to help out the other, which is a huge part of the reason why the two have never made a trade. It might be time they get over those issues and their egos, though. Because a trade of draft picks between the Giants and Jets this year makes a whole lot of sense. New York Jets safety Jamal Adams reacts during the second quarter against the Buffalo Bills at MetLife Stadium. Brad Penner, USA Today Sports. The recognitions keep pouring in for Jamal Adams. After making the Pro Bowl and being named second-team All-Pro by the Associated Press, the 23-year-old Jets safety was revealed Thursday as the No. 20 player on Pro Football Focus's list of the top 101 players from the 2018 NFL season. New York Jets general manager Mike Maccagnan looks on prior to an NFL football game against the Buffalo Bills, Sunday, Jan. 1, 2017, in East Rutherford, NJ. AP photo, Seth Beanick, AP, to fit Greg Williams' new 4-3 defensive scheme. The Jets will pick a defensive end, ESPN's Todd McShay predicts. In his second mock draft, McShay believes the Jets will draft Michigan defensive end Rashawn Gary with the No. 3 pick, predicting Ohio State defensive end Nick Bosa goes No. 1 to Arizona and Kentucky linebacker Josh Allen goes number 2 to San Francisco. Henry Anderson is a free agent, and Leonard Williams has 1 year left on his contract, so defensive end is a need for gangrene, McShay wrote. Gary has good size, 6'5", 283, and athleticism with an explosive closing burst. New York Jets defensive tackle Leonard Williams looks on during his game against the Atlanta Falcons at MetLife Stadium. Vincent Carchietta, USA Today Sports. It appears as if the Jets want Leonard Williams to be a part of their future, at least for 2019. Per Manish Mehta of the New York Daily News, the Jets do not have any plans to trade the 24-year-old defensive end as he enters his 5th-year option. SNY's Ralph Bacchiano also reports a trade is unlikely and that the team is not actively pursuing one. We are very excited to announce that we have a new commenting platform that we will be launching on Thursday. SNY has partnered with Spot. I am to bring you a more dynamic commenting experience across our website. In the process, we migrated your current Livefire user accounts and hundreds of thousands of comments to the new system. The look is slightly different than before and we've added some great, new features. You'll still be able to publish comments and follow conversations in real time. You'll continue to benefit from threaded conversations. And if you have notifications settings enabled, you'll receive emails alerting you when others reply to one of your comments or mention you. February 4, 2019, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. General overall view of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium exterior and the State Farm Arena. The venue is the home of the Atlanta Falcons and the site of Super Bowl 53 between the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Rams. Mandatory credit, Kirby Lee, USA Today Sports. Kirby Lee, it was the first Super Bowl that people outside the state of Nevada could bet on, and New Jersey was among them. But wasn't a profitable Sunday for the state, according to the Associated Press. Sportsbooks operator in New Jersey saw $34.9 million in wagers, but they lost $4.6 million after having to pay out $39.5 million to winners. That means there were a lot of Patriots fans in New Jersey, who beat the Rams 13-3 with a -2.5 spread, despite the paybacks. Joe Asher, CEO of William Hill US, which runs 3 total sportsbooks in New Jersey, saw the day as a success. He said Sunday was by far our biggest day ever in New Jersey in terms of handle. It was really good. In November 4, 2018, Miami Gardens, FL, USA, New York Jets center Spencer Long, 61, prior to a game against the Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium. Mandatory credit, Steve Mitchell, USA Today Sports. Steve Mitchell, the Jets are letting Spencer Long go, but they may try to bring him back. SNY's Ralph Vacchiano reports that the Jets are declining to pay Long's $3.5 million roster bonus, which will make the center a free agent. The move clears $6.5 million in cap space and leaves no dead money. While the Jets are interested in bringing back Long at a reduced cost, Vacchiano reports he might first sift through the market to see if he can get more money. November 2, 2017, East Rutherford, NJ, USA, New York Jets general manager Mike Maccagnan on the sidelines before a game against the Buffalo Bills at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brad Penner, USA Today Sports. Brad Penner, Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive. There are still nearly 3 months until the NFL draft, which means draft boards are only in their early stages and there is much scouting left to be done. Only a blurry picture has emerged of what the top 10 looks like. It will come into focus after the scouting combine in late February and the pro days throughout March. With both the Giants and Jets picking in the top 10, though, again, it's never too early to take a peek at what the top 10 might look like. 1. Arizona Cardinals, Nick Bosa. Ohio State, Le'Veon Bell. Charles Leclerc, USA Today Sports. Jets safety Jamal Adams has not been shy about his recruiting efforts for Le'Veon Bell, going as far as having lunch with the running back's agent last week. The Pro Bowl safety has said he's tried to contact Bell himself but has not been able to reach through. Well, it appears Adams has gotten Bell's attention now. Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive. The NFL's offseason is now underway. It's going to be one of the most important in the history of the Jets franchise. They have a new coach, they have a franchise quarterback, and they have about $100 million in salary cap room to spend on a relatively barren roster. General manager Mike Maccagnan can turn things around quickly. Or he could turn the Jets into an even bigger mess. He's already begun making his plans to reshape the roster for the 2019 season, of course, and beginning Monday, he can start to put that plan into action. The big day for the Jets will be the start of NFL free agency on March 13th, but there will be plenty of cuts, restructured contracts and other maneuvers in the next few weeks as they get ready. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady celebrates after a Patriots touchdown against the Los Angeles Rams during the fourth quarter of Super Bowl 53 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Jason Gatz, USA Today Sports. Sony Michel scored the tie-breaking touchdown with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter to help the Patriots beat the Rams 13-3 in Super Bowl 53, the lowest-scoring Super Bowl in NFL history, on Sunday. Michel's 2-yard rush capped a 5-play, 69-yard drive orchestrated by Tom Brady to break a 3-3 tie. Julian Edelman totaled 10 catches for 141 yards, while Brady threw for 262 yards and an interception for his 6th championship in his career. Stephen Gostkowski's 41-yard field goal with 1:12 remaining made it a 2-possession game. December 17, 2017, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell, 26, celebrates a third-quarter touchdown against the New England Patriots at Heinz Field. Mandatory credit, Philip G. Pavley. USA Today Sports. Philip G. Pavley, armed with roughly $100 million in cap space, the Jets could make free agent RB Le'Veon Bell one of their top targets. The Steelers are still considering doing something that could throw a wrench into things for the Jets and any other interested team. After Bell sat out the entire 2018 season due to a contract dispute, the Steelers are still considering using the transition tag on him for the 2019 season, reports Adam Schefter of ESPN. If the Steelers place the transition tag on Bell, it would give them the opportunity to match any offer sheet Bell signs with another team. NFL former player Kevin Mawae during the NFL Players Association press conference at the Super Bowl 46 Media Center at the JW Marriott. Matthew Emmons, U.S. Press Wire. Kevin Mawae thought his might be the year, and he was right. The legendary Jets center was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame on Saturday night. "It's unreal, surreal right now," he said from the Fox Theater in Atlanta. "We're in the green room right now, getting ready for the start of the awards show. I'm just so excited." AFC safety Jamal Adams poses with Genesis sedan after being named Most Valuable Defensive Player in the NFL Pro Bowl football game at Camping World Stadium. Kirby Lee, USA Today Sports. Jets safety Jamal Adams doesn't just hope to recruit football stars to New York. Adams believes the Knicks will land 3 big-name NBA superstars: Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. GSN previews Super Bowl 53 0 hours 1 minute and 21 seconds. With Super Bowl 53 upon us, Ray Lucas and Ralph Bacchiano discuss how the Patriots will exploit Aaron Donald and Rams' pass rush to win. SNY's Jets analyst Ray Lucas and SNY's Jets beat reporter Ralph Bacchiano preview Super Bowl 53 ahead of the big game. Lucas details which Rams pass rusher Bill Belichick will target. Bacchiano explains how the Patriots will completely eliminate Los Angeles' defensive line. What tactics do head coach Sean McVay and the Rams have up their sleeves to try and win their first Lombardi Trophy since 2000? NFL former player Kevin Mawae during the NFL Players Association press conference at the Super Bowl 46 Media Center at the JW Marriott. Matthew Emmons, U.S. Press Wire. Ralph Bacchiano, Facebook, Twitter. Archived sometime on Saturday. Kevin Mawae, a longtime fixture at center for the Jets, will learn whether he's finally been selected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It'll be tough, since there are 3 other offensive linemen on the list of 15 finalists. But if he does get the call, the honor would be overdue. He's not the only former Jet or Giant for whom that honor is overdue, of course. Nor is he the only one who figures to be enshrined someday soon. Here's a look at 5 New York football icons who deserve their spot in Canton, and the chances of whether they'll ever actually get their bust. New York Jets quarterback Sam Darnold runs with the ball during the first half of their game against the Green Bay Packers at MetLife Stadium. Ed Mulholland, USA Today Sports. The Jets have the second best odds among AFC East teams to win Super Bowl 54 in 2020. The Jets are at 90/1 odds to win next season's Super Bowl, according to BetDSI Sportsbook. It's no surprise the Patriots have the best odds among AFC East teams at 8/1. The Bills are 100/1 odds, while the Dolphins are at 300/1 odds. The Rams are the NFL favorites for next season at 15/2 odds. All aboard for Le'Veon Bell. 0 hours 1 minute and 8 seconds. Ralph Bacchiano argues the Jets are able and will have to spend a lot of money to sign big-name free agents this offseason. Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, archived Jamal Adams is doing his best to sell the Jets to the free agent class of 2019, talking with agents, recruiting players on social media, and making a few calls to friends. It's good that the Jets have such a passionate ambassador. Just don't expect his sales job to work. Here's the truth about NFL free agency: there are only two things that matter to players on the market: money, lots of it, and a chance to win a ring. Now the Jets do have plenty of money to spend and could be the high bidders on just about any player they desire. December 23, 2018, East Rutherford, NJ, USA, New York Jets strong safety Jamal Adams, 33, reacts during the second half against the Green Bay Packers at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit: Vincent Carcietta, USA Today Sports. Vincent Carcietta: Jamal Adams hasn't been shy while calling for the Jets to trade for Antonio Brown and sign Le'Veon Bell. On Wednesday, he went into detail about it. And while many, including one former teammate, think the Jets should shy away from Brown because of his off-field issues, Adams made it clear he doesn't really care. "Can he help us win? That's the main thing with me," Adams said Wednesday. "That should be the main thing with the organization." NFL former player Kevin Mawae during the NFL Players Association press conference at the Super Bowl 46 Media Center at the JW Marriott. Matthew Emmons, U.S. Press Wire. Legendary Jets center Kevin Mawae believes this might be the year he earns election to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. "I'd be lying if I say it wouldn't bother me if I don't get in," Mawae, who is a finalist for the second straight year, told ESPN's Rich Cimini. "This year, it might hurt more because people are saying this is my time. We'll see. I'm hopeful, and he is not alone." Former teammate and current Hall of Famer Curtis Martin advocated for Mawae's induction, telling Cimini, "I don't know if I would have made it to the Hall of Fame without Kevin." New York Jets general manager Mike Maccagnan looks on prior to the game against the Buffalo Bills at New Era Field. Rich Barnes, USA Today Sports. Mock drafts are continuing to pour in before the 2019 NFL Draft, and NFL.com draft analyst Lance Zierlein has the Jets landing a highly touted pass rusher on a bargain deal. Zierlein has the Jets taking Ohio State defensive end Nick Bosa with the number 3 pick, shoring up a defensive line under new defensive coordinator Greg Williams. If Bosa is still available for Gang Green, it's a no-brainer for the Jets to take him. The assumption is that Bosa will go first overall, unless both the Arizona Cardinals and San Francisco 49ers pass on the 21-year-old. December 2, 2018, Detroit, Michigan, USA. Los Angeles Rams nose tackle Ndamukong Suh, 93, during the game against the Detroit Lions at Ford Field. Mandatory credit: Tim Fuller, USA Today Sports. Tim Fuller, Pro Bowl DT Ndamukong Suh was one of the biggest names on the free agent market this past offseason after the Dolphins decided to release him. The Jets were among the top destinations to land the then 31-year-old, and they reportedly had the biggest offer on the table for his services. However, Jets owner Christopher Johnson stepped in, and Suh's offer was quickly rescinded, which came as a surprise to many. Johnson said that Suh didn't seem to be in keeping with our longer-term plan, while GM Mike Maccagnan said Suh simply missed the deadline on deciding whether or not to accept. Suh eventually chose to sign with the Rams, and it was the right move as he will be playing in his first Super Bowl this